Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machan Le'Ra and Smicha. There is one of the Ikrei Amunah that obviously you can't talk about it all in a 10-minute share, but we'll just rumreden some of the Rashi Prakim of this Ikrei Amunah, and that is to believe in Tchiyas HaMesim, that there will come a time that the Eibishter will revive the ones who passed on and they'll come back to life. Now, this alone is very controversial. What's the source from it? There's a machlekes if it's a remez in a Torah. The Gemara keeps on bringing proofs that a remazim that the Torah makes reference that there will be Tchias HaMesim, or is this the makar really in Nevi'im? There's a machlekes here between the Rambam. The Rambam held that specifically the Eibishter spoke about Tchias HaMesim only by once the time in the Nevi'im, because earlier there was a lot of kfira going on. He didn't want to mention it then. But yet we find a very clear pasuk in Hazinu. It's one of the few psukim that they bring as a remez. The pasuk says, Re'u ata ki ani hu, ani amis va'achaya. I Rahman al-San, cause people to die, make people die, and I will make them alive again. Now that's the simple taich. That's how most of the poskim bring that araya for Tchias HaMesim. The Rambam, however, doesn't interpret that achaya for the reason I said before. He interprets achaya means I give life, and not I will give them life later on. The Rambam's first reference for Tchias HaMesim is a pasuk in Daniel. So. Yeah, and that also makes a difference in the Gemara, because the Gemara in Masechta Sanhedrin, Perek Yud Mishnah Aleph says, "Ve'elu she'ein lehem chelik le'olam haba," who doesn't have a part in the world to come. Ha'omer ein tchias hamesim min ha'Torah. So this is a machlekes. What did he mean by writing ein tchias hamesim min ha'Torah? It doesn't mean he doesn't believe in tchias hamesim, or on top of that, he doesn't believe in tchias hamesim as it's a source in the Torah. So it depends. The Rambam doesn't say that it has to be he has to believe that it's mentioned in the Torah and the Chumash. Now, in davening in Shemoneh Esrei, the Anshe Knesset Agdela were mesaken that in one of the brachas of Shemoneh Esrei we finish off Baruch Atah Hashem Mechaya HaMesim. We also find that when a person goes to a cemetery, after not being there for a long time, you make a bracha. And one of the things we mentioned in that bracha is asid lahakim eschem lechaya elam haba bedin, that the Eibishter will give you life, and Baruch Atah Hashem mechaya hamesim. Again, as mentioned before, there's many places in the Gemara where the Gemara brings proofs or asmachtis from different psukim of that there is a concept of Tchias HaMesim. Now, how exactly? Obviously, this is a very, very big issue of discussion, but we'll just highlight some of the issues that are brought up. For example, in the Svarim that discuss it, they bring these type of shilas. A woman that her husband passed away while she was still alive, and she got married a second time, and now it's hundreds of years later, thousands of years later, and Tchias HaMesim is happening. To which husband will she go back to? Another shaila which we discussed, that when a person passes away and then Tchias HaMesim will happen, are they still considered married because they were married, or because they passed on, now they're separates and they will have to do something to be considered married again? Then what are they when they come up from the dead? What are they going to be wearing? What clothing are they going to be wearing? If a person was sick when he passed away, a person was a Baal Mum, is he going to come up healthy, or is he going to come up with, especially this is discussed, if somebody died in a very miserable way, and maybe an animal ate part of it, how is the procedure going to take place? And then there is a question, a practical question that's even asked. Imagine if everybody wakes up for Tchias HaMesim. If everybody wakes up for Tchias HaMesim, the population will be so much. How is the physical land of the world going to be able to hold all those people from throughout the generations. Now the Gemara says that Rabbi Eliezer in Ksubas Daf Kuf Yud Aleph says, "Ein Tchiyas HaMeisim ela l'kvurim b'Eretz Yisrael." Tchiyas HaMeisim will only happen to those who are buried in Eretz Yisrael. They will have Tchiyas HaMeisim. Anybody else buried outside of Eretz Yisrael will have to go through underground tunnels, come up. In Eretz Yisrael, everybody comes up. And that's actually brought the reason why Yaakov Avinu asked, Yaakov and Yosef asked that they should be buried in Eretz Yisrael. In the Medrash, it's brought that the ones who are buried in Eretz Yisrael, they will actually be they will be brought up to life before than the ones who are Mesei Chutz La'aretz, and only later the Mesei Chutz La'aretz come up through the Mechillas. According to the Radvaz, Tchiyas HaMeisim is not happening everywhere in Eretz Yisrael. It's actually happening in the Har HaZeisim in Yerushalayim, and not everywhere. What exactly is going to be the order of Tchiyas HaMeisim? How is it going to work? So it actually has brought a very interesting thing. Some say that it's going to go in an order like this. The tzaddikim will stand up first, and after the tzaddikim will be just the regular Jew. And in the Medrash, it's actually brought that when it comes to time to do Tchiyas HaMeisim, they will do it by a roll call by name, and it will go according to the order of the Aleph Beis. And based on the order of Aleph Beis, the Aleph will go first, Beis, so on. But somebody who excelled with the midah of anava, of humility, he will come up first. Now, there is an interesting Rasag, Rav Sadia Goin, where he discusses, okay, hopefully that this time is coming right away, and there will be Tchiyas HaMeisim. What happens to the people who are alive at the present time when Tchiyas HaMeisim is happening? Are they going to experience this Tchiyas HaMeisim? So the Rasag actually brings three opinions. One opinion says, lucky them, they were alive when the time came. They will go as is, as they are dressed in a physical body, into the Olam Haba, and they will just join. The ones coming up from Tchiyas HaMeisim will join them as is. Another opinion say they will live for some time to see the starting of Tchiyas HaMeisim, but they will also go through the experience of Tchiyas HaMeisim. They will have to die and come back up. And the third opinion says that they will experience a long period of time to see what's happening, but eventually they will have to die. In other words, the question is, does everybody have to go through the process of Ala'afar Tashu? But the bottom line is, Tchiyas HaMeisim is the ikar in Yiddishkeit, the ikar in Amunah, and there are many proofs for this from different sources, whether it is from Torah or from the Nevi'im.